Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Combat Conversations, and I'm your boy AG, aka the Combat Connoisseur, and I'm back joined with my man today, DB. What's going on with it, cuz?
What's going on with you, AG?
Nothing much. So let's go ahead and get the fans in on what we was just arguing about. So I ain't gonna let you squeak away with that real quick. So my man's over here saying that Bruce Buffer is the better of the Buffer brothers, and I'm arguing that Michael Buffer is the better of the Buffer brothers.
That's because what I said is true. Bruce Buffer is better. He is the better of the brothers.
I mean, did you listen to the intro? Have you ever listened to us on the intro? I mean, that is legendary. Now, hey, Bruce brings the energy. There's no question.
That's what it's all about. Let's get ready to rumble.
That is a patent trademark colloquialism. It's really not, but I just felt like saying that fucking word.
Look at you going to the dictionary, pulling out the big words.
It was in a thesaurus that I was reading, the thesaurus. So,
thesaurus.
To me, him having that line just makes it all the more better. He's known. You know, you could know the line and really not even know the man. You just know it's a man who does boxing.
I mean, didn't he do it for before one of the finals back when MJ was playing?
Oh yeah,
I don't keep up with the NBA like that.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a while, and even then, that backstory's crazy about how they connected and stuff like that. You know, I don't know how much you know about that, but
Bruce Buffer did the intro to the Raiders game.
Oh yeah, but like I said, he brings that electric energy. But you already know, I joke with you all the time. It's like, why he's got to say fighting 4 times? You know,
fighting.
I mean, fighting. You know, and he does it twice per fighter. So it's kind of like your boy
fighting
Diamante from Matchroom, who says everybody's last name twice.
Yeah, it's good that he's back.
Yeah. It is good that he's back for sure. You know. And he's looking good. He's looking in high spirits. And hey, you know, hopefully life
is short.
Yeah, life is short. So since we on the topic of Matchroom, let's just go ahead and get into it. You know, we was on a 2-week hiatus. So once again, we appreciate everybody for tuning back in. Combat Conversations. Check us out on all the podcasts, Spotify's, Apple Podcasts you listen to. So to get back into
like and subscribe.
Follow, like, and subscribe. Appreciate all the feedback we've getting. Thank you for everything. So, like I said about the Matchroom, we've been on a little 2-week hiatus. So since we left off, the Wood versus Conlan fight. Nomination for Fight of the Year. Guaranteed.
Fight of the Year. Knockout of the Year. You know, it's like I said on the past episode. I mean, look, the zone may not always have the biggest names or, the sexiest fights, but, that P. Diddy.
He comes through. And we knew it would be fireworks. It's just...
Oh, no, that wasn't fireworks. That was a murder.
Yeah, that was Thunder Over Louisville fireworks show. Largest fireworks show in the world. Early on, Conlan was giving Wood the business. Coming out of nowhere, giving the champ all he can handle. That left hand was
I mean, a mile away. Like he
was swinging from the stands,
bro. Like he's still like trying to cock that. Like you said, coming from the stands. How you not see that?
And it was landing flush, and the the knockdown right at the end of the first round set the stadium in a buzz. Cause Wood,
that was a tone.
Wood was
right
getting
there.
some love.
Oh yeah,
Wood was getting mad love. And when Conlan put him down, I mean, had the place going crazy. In second round, Conlan picked up where he left off. And I really thought he was going to finish Wood. But Wood, one tough cookie, fought through adversity.
Has a chin on him.
Definitely got a chin. You know,
may
not have that quick defense, but he got a chin.
Hey, real quick, you know that Arthur meme where it shows the fist?
Yeah.
Bro, you know Amir Khan sitting like that right now.
I mean, it's just, those memes, they be catching on stuff. And we're going to get into some social media shit because Josh Taylor, We're going to get into that when we talk about Regis here in a second. But essentially, Wood started climbing back in it and reverse a Khan, like you're talking about. Weakest chin in boxing. We talked about Martinez the week before. Wood and Conlan essentially didn't last, so I guess you eventually, but he still got a tough chin. Wood was taking a beating early, and he just flipped the script, and started giving him the work, but Conlan wasn't really backing down. He was still putting up a good fight.
Now, like early on in the fight, you know, when you had said it earlier, you know, that was his best opportunity to put him away. And then piece by piece, he came back, and then thunder over Louisville. That's what happened.
He brought the hammer. And in that last round, salute to Conlan, salute to all the boxers, true warriors. But Wood landed a devastating right hand, straight right hand, and then Conlan's lights just went out. The LG&E man came to collect on a serious note.
Dude, his body went limp.
Dead limp.
Like, it was probably after that first hit, really, bro, that's what put him out.
Stone cold blackout and fell through the ropes. Like, body went dead. And
like,
I tell you what,
shit.
I was a little worried there for a while. And we all were. There's no doubt. We all were. But you could tell by the zone not showing it, them not really mentioning too much about it, keeping the camera away, because if they'd have saw any positiveness from that, if he'd have, say, got up maybe a minute or two later, well, I felt like they'd have showed it. You know? But with them not doing that, it kind of had me a little concerned. But they said he arrived, Conlan's all good, and he's asking for that rematch.
Oh,
I'm up for it.
Oh, sign me up.
Sign me up for that. That Wood Conlan too.
We need a sequel for that.
And you know what? I bet it's gonna happen.
Because
Wood and Conlan are not superstars. They ain't in this duck mode. They ain't in that Charlo mode. They ain't in these Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford modes, and that's that the Javante Davises and Devin Haney road.
Oh, you know I'm fighting, right? You know I'm fighting, right?
Who you fighting?
Oh, you didn't hear?
No, I ain't here.
You didn't hear? I'm fighting Charlo.
Oh,
that's me. I'm fighting Charlo.
A tomato can.
Bro, hey, I have a draw, so I'm not completely trash.
That is true. So, but watch you actually give Charlo a good fight on that.
But yet somehow, some way, the cinnamon bun Canelo is still ducking Charlo.
Yeah. We won't make no sense of that until next coming weeks, till he fights whoever the hell he's supposed to fight. And Canelo takes, I don't want to say takes care of business to be Bivol, but I'm confident in Canelo. But
it'll be close.
We'll see.
Gonna pull away.
Yeah, I'm gonna be pulling for Bivol. So fight of the year, knockout of the year candidate, mark it, book it, remember it. Wood Conlan won, and you already know there's gonna be a 2 because that's why I'm saying 1. So we'll get that rolling. That was what a fight. What a fight. Once again, no more times. Shout out. Then that leads us into the following weekend that just passed. And what a weekend that was, from top to bottom. So just to keep this boxing train rolling, early in the day, Pro Bellum put on a card. Now I'm going to go on a little rant real quick. Again, Pro Bellum's fights, making an announcement if you ain't heard already. Apparently, Pro Bellum's fights are going to be on Fubo TV, Fubo Sports Network. Putting that out there for all the ones who hadn't heard or whatever, because I got bit by the bug.
Oh, I got bit by the bug too.
Didn't hear that it was going to be on Fubo Sports Network.
Pro Bellum dropped the ball with this.
Yeah, the website the links was all messed up. I've been following this fight for Regis for weeks now. The tail of the tape thing was never working. The watch now tab was taking you somewhere. It was so odd. But anyway, long story short, Fubo Sports Network, for anybody seeing a Pro Bellum card come up, trying to get that out there. But just like you said, shout out to the best 140 pounder in the world, Regis Prograis.
The true undisputed champ at 140.
I guess McKenna didn't know how to stop Regis.
No. You know, it's like, like Regis said, he don't know how. He just
hesitated. He just see, look, even he don't know how to stop me. Like, so Handled business like he should.
Dropped him.
Now, apparently I'm also reading that this locks in Regis for a shot at the WBC super lightweight. And after the fight, is calling out Jack Catterall. Bring the business, cuz. Bring the business. My man Regis Prograis is coming for all the smoke. He's the boogeyman on 140.
Bro, nobody wants to fight Regis. Nobody.
And it's getting to a point now where I don't think many can avoid him. He's being recognized as the top 140 pounder. I believe so by many eyes. Since Josh Taylor's moving up, aka lost to Catterall.
Well, I mean, who else do you really see outside of Regis that's the best at 140?
I mean, like I said, Jack Catterall with his performance can make an argument. T.O. moving up can make an argument.
That's what I think should, when it's okay, it's official. Josh Taylor's going up to 147. But I feel like Catterall and Regis, they should go for one of the straps. Like, clearly they're the two that actually beat Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor's not undefeated.
No.
He's got 2 L's on his record.
Yeah, he's
Regis
been
Prograis
defeated.
and Jack Catterall.
I agree.
So I feel like it should be between those two for at least one of the straps.
At least one of the straps. Right. I agree with that. And those two, I believe, like you said, have separated themselves as being the top at 140. But as heavy as 135 is, if you do have a few that decide they want to move up to 140, that kind of thickens the plot a little bit, so to speak. So
I bet Tank will.
Nah, Tank ain't.
Bro.
Tank's being protected by Daddy Floyd and Uncle Leo. We know this. I mean, PBC is hiding behind Tank in these so-called numbers.
Bro, PBC, they're doing some funky stuff with their numbers.
And some fucking shit.
Funky shit with their numbers.
Nah, fuck it. Let's put Keith Thurman and Barrios on pay-per-view. Fuck it. Let's put Luis Ortiz and Charles Martin on pay-per-view.
Fuck it. Ruiz hasn't fought nobody in 6 years, but hey.
His next fight will be pay-per-view, so fuck it.
$75. Remember that.
I mean, that's why they just say fuck it. So, yeah, Regis top dog at 140. I believe he's the one to beat in that division. But since Josh Taylor's out, I'm done with his ass, man. I fucked with Josh Taylor.
He's already off my.
He's off my. Not only is he off my shit, we discussed like why the performance kind of like took him off the list and why we was disgusted in his performance. But I'm done with his ass after the way he's fucking acting after this shit.
Like he genuinely thinks it was a close fight and that he won. Like, no.
And I'm not even mad per se. I'm not even mad that he thinks that he thinks it's a close fight and he won. But stop fucking going on social media and over here talking about like, he's bragging about it. Like I forgot one of the fucking posts, man, but it's just like one of those like, shut up. Like it was one of those where like he's clowning on us for actually thinking that Catterall won that fight. It's them type of posts. I ain't even marked the post or whatever to remember it for this shit, but it's already it's in stone. Like I'm done with his ass. The way he's acting after this is not humble, man. It's not, and I'm not even saying you gotta be humble, but he's quote unquote, he's acting like a bitch. He
throwback fighter my ass.
He's trying to cover up the fact that he lost.
I mean, the second he said he would fight Catterall again, but at 147. That's when I instantly lost respect for him.
I'm going to the mobile device. Some bullshit.
Like, that's how bad it is.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll rematch Catterall at 147, but it's because he genuinely knows that if he goes against Catterall again, he's gonna fucking lose. I put it on Twitter. If you're fighting Josh Taylor in his backyard, unless you knock him the fuck out, pack it in. You're not winning by decision.
You're not. And one of the things I'm talking about is how Jack Catterall got did in dirty and got dropped from the rankings, and you know how that works. And then Josh Taylor's over here retweeting shit, talking about phone the police and everything. Like dude, just that's the type of shit we don't need to see. If anybody asks you about it, 100 times out of 100 times, tell them to their face, it was a close fight, but I think I won. That's all fine and dandy. Stop with the retweeting shit, rubbing it in our face about that, because you did not fucking win.
No, you fucking lost.
Straight up. Getting raunchy on this real quick.
And I'm still fucking pissed. Like,
yeah.
Dude, Jack Catterall lost out on fucking millions. Imagine that. You work your whole life for that moment. You work your ass off.
Yep.
And then
that's a sport of boxing, man.
A robbery like
bullshit.
that happens, and it's like, boom, millions out of your fucking pocket. And Josh Taylor, hey, he's been out of my pound for pound rankings.
Yeah,
he's no longer a fighter I respect. I hope he loses every fucking fight from here on out.
Yeah, and
you're not a throwback fighter.
That just shows you how much stock
you're gonna get fucking murked at 147.
If he fights Buddy, will, yeah. Especially how Catterall did him. Please, I think Terrence Bud Crawford will pick Josh Taylor apart.
Bud's gonna be facing murder charges.
He would, and I'm, I'm just I would be just as excited for that fight as the Errol Spence fight.
And here's the thing, you kind of joke with me about it. You know how I never supposedly eat crow on here. I ate crow with Josh Taylor, big fucking time. Not just for my prediction, but literally, like, it had to be a Godfather moment all the times that I said it, because that's really the only genuine excuse I probably have for it. But when I sat up here and said that I think, or that I thought he was the second most accurate puncher behind Bud,
yeah,
you go out and you put on a fucking dog shit performance like that against Catterall,
bad,
making me look bad. I sound like Rob Parker up here, like I don't know anything, like I don't know what I'm talking about. People are people will probably roast me on Facebook, Twitter, like, bro, Drake don't know what the fuck he talking about.
Hey, but a lot of people.
I guess it happens.
A lot of people, and even some, had more stock invested in Josh Taylor than you did.
He was genuinely growing on me. Like, I was like, okay, he's a throwback fighter. I can respect that he started, but no.
I have too.
He wants to be a little bitch, trying to rub it in our faces. Like, no, bro, you fucking lost.
Yeah, and that's the main thing that has just made me, like, no longer be a fan. And I kind of, shifted to the same thing we talked about. Really, no matter who he fights, I'm gonna be pulling for the other guy now. Straight up. That's just how it goes with fandom, You like somebody, you don't like somebody. Simple as that. So he was a person that I was cheering for. Then now it's gotten to a point where it's like, doesn't matter who he fights. He could fight a warm-up fight to fight Bud, and I'd be pulling for the other guy.
He's now on the list with Tank and
Valdez, T.O., Charlos, both of them. Oh, yeah. Fuck.
Bums.
I mean,
Jamal,
no,
I'm saying both of them. Like, remember, I'm fighting. I get to fight Charlo.
You fighting Jamal, and then
Jamel.
He lost to Castano. Well, and I think he's gonna lose to him again. I don't see him putting on a dominant performance. I mean, this is just
no.
Blah, 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 blah. I'm over here stuttering with his shitty self. Fucking, this is the same guy who struggled with Tony Harrison.
Your favorite?
Come on, seriously?
Your favorite fighter's coming back.
And who's that?
Rolly.
Oh, all right. It's the we're gonna have to go back and watch that. This was incredible. I actually am kind of excited for it, though. I'm one of the very few who actually does want to see this fight.
We don't
I'm glad
we don't like
back
Tank because of Floyd Mayweather, but we don't like Rolly because he's Rolly.
Right. Simple as that. Nothing against Tank. It's just Daddy Floyd and Uncle Leo.
With Tank, we just want him to fight, the best. He's picking C-level fighters. That's the only problem we have with Tank.
Yep. So, like we said before, that day was jam-packed. That Probellum card was just at the beginning of the day, which led us into Top Rank. And let me start this one off with another rant in a bitch mode. They're going to be like, damn, AJ, you keep complaining this episode. Like, Well, as much energy and positivity that I try to bring to it, I sometimes you gotta point out the flaws. Top Rank has gotta stop putting on these 6-hour shows, okay? I fucking love boxing. I don't necessarily want to watch the opening card and the end of the main event 6 hours apart. Maybe you feel like you're getting your money's worth if you go to the event because it could be an all-day affair. But this shit ending at 1:45, 2 o'clock in the morning, motherfucker, for what? Have all that shit done. If you're gonna start at 7 o'clock, have all that shit done and wrapped up by 11:30, midnight at the latest. And then if you start at 9, 1 o'clock at the latest. You're already going into 4 and 5 hours. 5's the cap. We gotta stop this 7-hour broadcast.
I mean, if you want to do that for the big fights, Tyson Fury, Lomachenko, whatever, then, I mean, I can understand if it's the big fight, with all the stars. I get that. But last
just
night,
a regular ESPN Top Rank, ESPN Plus exclusive. Actually, it was on regular ESPN too, but the ESPN Plus exclusive was at the beginning. So, now that the rant's out the way, let's keep it all the way a buck. That Top Rank card had a stacked talent on the March 9th key. Oh, man. And sad, one of the main key pieces to it had to withdraw for non-COVID related virus reasons in Keyshawn Davis.
I know my man Xander went off.
So, just let's recap from the beginning, just the ones worth talking about. First fight, you had Keyshawn's brother, Kelvin Davis, who I tweeted out for a second actually made us go like, Keyshawn who? Like, basically, he put on a performance that we know all three Davis brothers have massive talent. Kelvin being the oldest, he looked good. He put on one of those performances like, watch out for this cat. Watch out for this guy. So, anytime the Davis brothers, Keyshawn Davis, Kelvin Davis,
must see TV.
Must see TV. Gotta get that on them cards. That's gonna lead into the superstars because they're gonna get fast tracked. And we mentioned it before. Many people talk about how these are the best young boxers under say 5-0 in a long time since Lomachenko. Guys who are 2, 3, 4, 5-0. David Morrell 5-0. Like they talking about. I get what you're saying, but it's like anybody else 3, 4, 5-0, you ain't even heard of them. These guys, they could be ready for championship fights at like 10, 11, and 12.
So they on the fast track, just like that.
Fast track like that. I really believe that. They're not going to be, because you look at, it's just the way the careers shape up. You got Virgil Ortiz, who we'll talk about in a second, backed out, and Jaron Ennis. Virgil, they basically in the same spot. 1 and 2 contenders for 147 belts. They both want Bud and Spence and blah, blah, blah. But Virgil's 17-0 and Boots is 27-0. 26-0, 27-0. Okay, but they're in the same spots. So where did the extra 9 fights come in for Boots? 9, 10 fights. On the front end of his career that he just ran through 7, 8, 9 guys, but nobody knew who he was. But then he started making a buzz, and some about Virgil Ortiz. He got fast-tracked. He's fought better competition and is ready for a championship fight at fight 17 as opposed to Boots, who at fight 17 was years ago and wasn't talking about him like we are today.
That's how fighters' careers work out.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about with the Davis brothers. They fast-tracked. So then you had Jaheed Tucker on the card. Another young prospect I like. Just another guy. I think he's 4-0 now, 5-0. Just good talent.
Is he fast tracking too?
He's one of those guys. If he keeps winning, I really think he will be fighting for title eliminators by fight 12, 13, 14. They'll probably baby him for like literally the next 5, 6, 7 fights. And then by this time, he'll be 10-0, 11-0, 12-0. Xander Zayas.
Bro, that's my boy right
Let's get to him. Because then we're going to get to the main event because we about to dog on that main event, Edgar Berlanga. But let's talk about Xander first.
Wait, that was Berlanga? Oh, that looked like a drunk David Benavidez.
We'll get to that in a second. But let's not overlook Xander.
That's my boy right there.
He's
nice.
easily ready for title eliminators right now.
Definitely, without question.
Yeah, he's a top 5 at 154, and I know I might catch some flack because it's early, but I think the skill set's there. I really do. And from what I've seen, I'm more impressed by watching Xander Zayas. I get he's fighting dump trucks and trash cans, but he's beating them like how he should, running away with it. That's what we've always said. The guy he fought last night has never been knocked down. Tough son of a gun, but Xander Zayas cruised to victory. Was never in trouble. Never. No. Like, look, we've said this time and time again. Like, okay, he fought trash cans. He's not fighting world beaters. But hey, like, what is it we always say? You know, if you're a top dog, got to do top dog shit and get those trash cans out of there. Take out the trash. I mean, like, hey, Charlo struggling with the unranked fight. Like, bro, if you're like that, if you're someone who's Canelo supposedly fucking ducking, you need to take out the trash. He didn't do that. Exactly. Put on a performance that actually makes the fans say, this guy is the guy. You know, Benavidez is arguably more impressive than, inarguably about it. David Benavidez has been more impressive than Charlo's. I really do think. It's not even close. Yeah, it's really not. It's not. And again, Benavidez, he hasn't fought anybody himself, but again, he's making work of him. His opponent's corner is literally calling the fight because he's beating the fuck out of him. He's making work of him. He really is. And Xander Zayas, to me, put on another stellar performance that just made us really can't wait to see what the future holds for this young man. Prospect of the year last year by many people's eyes. I think the train's only going to continue to roll, and it's going to be rolling in a great direction. Hey, who do you want to see Xander fight next? I don't know. There's a few guys out there at 154 that I'm sure could give him a good test. But needless to say, I'm not really. I don't have a name out there who I would say I really do want him to fight. Like, because to me, he's already proven himself that he can hold his own with those guys, and now I would just want to see him fight a top guy. So whoever that may be. What is his name? Tim Zhu or something like that? Oh yeah, Tim Zhu. Tim Zhu, is that how you say it? Yep. The late great Tim Zhu. That would be nasty. That would be nasty. Tim's got a fight. He's fighting. That's right. He's coming up on the. He's coming up next week on the ShowBox. Yep, that's right. The Showtime. Yeah, the PBC card that Charlo and Castaño got canceled on. So Tim's gonna have to show out because he's a top dog at 154, and he's a fighter we've talked about that we would love to see go against one of the champs. And that leads us to Edgar Berlanga. David Benavidez's retarded baby brother. And Jose Benavidez is supposed to be back too, and who looked like shit his last fight, if you remember that. We was all over his ass. But Edgar Berlanga is, let's not beat around the bush. I think he's overrated. Very. It's not even close. Stevie Wonder conceived that man is overrated. So he gets first round knockout 16 in a row. And apparently this is, top ranks on board with this. And I guess that they started giving him a little bit stiffer competition, but still not competition that is on any type of level. Just, okay? He went from C level to B level. I say he went from F level to C level. Okay? And he's going the distance with him. Fuck. He's not taking out the trash. He's not taking out the trash by no means. When he's getting guys in a row, 16 in a row, first round, okay, when you fight better, stiffer competition, if your skill set is going to translate to in next level, grade level fighters, you're going to get knockouts later in the fight. Still finish him off, but instead of the first round, hey, you wore him down and you took him out in the fourth. You're breaking him down over the... Not happening. Now he's fought 3 trash cans since. And we're going to get to Stevie Rolls. And not saying Stevie Rolls is a trash can, but man, Stevie looked so scared in there that Berlanga should have just went in there and took his ass out. Stevie fought scared, and I still think Stevie won the fucking fight. That's how bad I think Berlanga looked. Berlanga was just hella overrated. There's nothing there for me.
I mean, it's dead ass like you're ordering David Benavidez from Wish. Like he's just a poor man's David Benavidez. That's all you can say.
I totally get what you're saying. He's a guy. He keeps that vertical guard up.
No defense.
Flat vertical guard up, and thinks he's gonna just come forward and hit you with a one-hitter quitter. And that's not gonna happen. And Stevie Rolls didn't fight like he normally does. Stevie Rolls is a guy who likes to come forward, which he tried to come forward against Triple G and paid the ultimate price. That's his only loss on his record. So Stevie Rolls has come back since and won. Look good. I give Stevie Rolls C+, B at best. He's definitely not an A fighter. B at best, maybe. But I'd even give him CC+. So, but Stevie Rolls fought better defense ultimately because he was scared. You could see it. Go back and watch the fight. Stevie, to me, looked scared the first couple rounds.
I don't want to go back and rewatch that garbage. Honestly, like, I really don't even care. Like, that's how bad. I was not entertained by that last night at all.
Again, stacked card. I believe the talent was there. I enjoyed watching the whole card. I was mad that it drug on so late, and ultimately I know why it drug on so late, and we'll get to that point. But I was satisfied up until the main event, and Edgar Berlanga just let me down. He's been letting us down for 3 fights now. He doesn't belong to headline a main event.
No, not at all.
No, I really, no. That's it.
Like,
put him on the undercard. He's gonna be great on the undercard. Stop main. That's it. To me, that should be his last main event until he gets his shit back on track. I don't know, Timothy Bradley and them talking about how he could find himself. Maybe. I just don't see it coming.
He's trash, and I better never see one of his cards for $75. I better not.
Well, I don't think Top Rank's gonna stoop that low. Let's not go there. I mean, you know,
I wouldn't put it past him.
He was on regular ESPN last night. Trust me. And with that performance, they not Top Rank ain't PBC, dog. They really not. Okay, we ain't got to worry about that.
I shouldn't have disrespected Top Rank like that.
Okay, if Edgar Berlanga might be on a pay-per-view card next, I will say that.
That's crazy. Like, at one point, you used to defend PBC.
I did. And again,
like, you would go down the ship.
Let's back it up. Let's back it up. Let's 18-wheeler back that thing up. I defended PBC because I liked their presentation and how they were going about things early in their entity. Now, I'm still a fan of the presentation. I love PBC on Fox. I love when PBC's on Showtime. But I can no longer defend their model. I really can't. The Premier Boxing Championships on television was something great. When we first heard it, we was ecstatic. And we loved the Keith Thurmans of the world fighting on regular television. Now, to bring it this forward, you got the David Morrells. There's not enough of those anymore. They done f***ed around and said, you know what? To hell with y'all. We going back to the pay-per-view model. You know why? Because we keep paying fighters like Tank and, in this case, Barrios and Ortiz too much fucking money. Too much fucking money. And they have to cover their ass with pay-per-view money on the back end.
And not only that, like, you know, it's not even a day after the pay-per-view, and the fight's already on regular TV.
Yeah, and then alluded to that, you know, they showed the prelims and stuff, and I think it was like a week later. Both times for Tank and Ortiz, it was the following week. And like, you know, talked about it before, Canelo sells almost 1 million, and it's over a month before they show it again. And we've talked about why. It's because, man, everybody saw it but me. And I still got to wait over a month. Man, I'm getting the next one. But then all of a sudden, Tank underperforms. Nobody's really talking about it like they should. Shit. I mean, we still got to get it out while it's hot. Fuck it. Let them have it for free next week. And that's ultimately how that shit happens.
It's crazy.
So.
And no, before we move on real quick, you forgot someone else from last night.
Who's that?
Bruce Carrington.
Okay.
You don't remember his fight? You don't remember that brutal knockout he had?
Oh shit. Yeah. Cause that was the dude that I said like got slept like a, I forgot even what I said. But yeah, that knockout. Yeah.
Bro,
I didn't remember
like
the name
him.
though. You had me thrown off for a second. But
I
yeah,
like him, bro.
had him slept.
Bro, he's gonna be a fighter I'm gonna be looking out for.
Yeah.
I really like him.
Again, that top ranked card last night, I firmly believe was stacked with mad talent. Mad talent. So my eyes, for the most of the night, was focused on that top ranked card because, again, the day's not over. We actually kind of skipping and hopping around, but we keeping on certain topics right now. Which brings us to Golden Boy and their promotion, which was supposed to be the main event of the night, basically, with Virgil Ortiz Jr. taking on McKinnison, but Virgil Ortiz pulling out ultimately diluted the card. Then it elevated Blair the Flair Cobbs to fucking main event, which was kind of silly because they replaced Virgil Ortiz with somebody to fight McKinnison and wind up demoting him to the co-main event and then elevated Blair Cobbs to the main event, who McKinnison would have got his ass dealt with by Virgil. I firmly believe that. He didn't look impressive at all, and Virgil's on the verge of becoming a 147 superstar, and which leads us into Blair the Flair. Now, I know you recall about his little rant he did on fucking Fight Hype, calling out Spence and all that, basically telling everybody, fuck your O. Just basically what he told everybody, you know, calling everybody out who's protecting that O. He said, you can't be great until you face adversity. He has, because he has been knocked down in the past. He's come back and won some impressive fights, but ultimately, more often than not, Blair the Flair Cobbs has never looked super impressive. He just has a mouth on him.
He's never really caught your eye.
No, his mouth is what caught all our eyes. And
it's like what we talked about with Masvidal. I mean, like, people don't tune in to watch his fights because, you know, yeah, he had a nice little run, you know, from 2019, 2020, but ultimately, I mean, it's his mouth that's selling the fight.
Selling the fight. And
if that's what you got to do, if that's what, you know, Blair the Flair's got to do, then that's what Blair the Flair's got to do.
And guess what? His mouth wrote a check that his ass couldn't cash.
No, that shit bounced.
That shit bounced hard. And
it double bounced.
Blair was looking decent early on, okay? It was one of those type of fights that we talk about a lot. Blair being a little bit more active, landing a little bit more punches. But when Rocha was landing his 1 or 2, 3 punches that round, Blair was looking stunned. Like you knew if Rocha was coming with some follow-ups, Blair's finna be done.
Well, I'm not saying it's exactly like this fight, but you know, you go back to the Canelo-Caleb Plant fight. You know, Caleb looked good. You know, he was boxing well. He was in there with Canelo, but when Canelo hit, you knew he hit. So Blair may have looked good early on, but his punches weren't doing anything. And when he was getting hit, you could tell he was getting hit.
Yeah. And his combos were doing enough to cut Rocha. He actually had cut him above the eye with a couple overhand lefts. But essentially, Rocha just kept coming forward, and you could see that even Blair's flush shots just wasn't really staggering Rocha. You could see when we watch enough fights, you can tell when a fighter's rocked. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. So all that smack talk, Blair the Flair Cobbs, that flame has been doused. No more talking about Errol Spence. No more talking about Bud. All these guys, boots protecting their O. That's it. It's done.
That's it. You know,
that's it. Unless
your time to shine is gone. That's it.
Oh, it was his time. He got elevated to the main event after talking all that cash. It was Blair the Flair's time to shine, and he fucking shit the bed. So,
he failed the semester.
He failed it. Now, between Regis's fight on Pro Bellum, a stacked top-ranked card that let us down by Edgar Berlanga, and Blair the Flair just kind of us taking joy out of him losing, one could say the highlight of the day was UFC London.
I'm telling you, UFC is always, hey, we talk about P. Diddy, Dana White Doing his thing.
You know what's funny is Dana White and P Diddy, Eddie Hearn may go. Hey, and Bob Arum still, you can't put him up there because he's too old. You know what I'm saying? Bob Arum's too old. He's retired. He's semi-retired.
He's getting ready to die next
Dana
week.
White
So.
and with the Wood Conlan fight, again, no superstar names, not really, but just a fucking stacked, beautiful card that had great action. Same thing last night with the UFC. Not a pay-per-view, just a fight night. Electric. Could have very well been a pay-per-view. Dana White and P. Diddy, Eddie Hearn back in every
that
week.
card would have sold.
Top pound for pound promoted in the game. They take turns every week.
Hey, P. Diddy was there last night.
They stay one up each other. Yeah, him and Anthony Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
They got tickets, boy. You know when you connect it like that, you connect it like that. Especially when they got to come to your backyard.
Hey, man, London
was lit.
They putting out some fighters, boxing, MMA.
So, may as well. Let's go ahead and get into the card. Who you trying to kick it off with? Because that was a great day for UFC.
Might as well just kick it off with Paddy the Baddy.
Paddy the Baddy, boy.
I mean, is he the next Conor McGregor?
If he has a chance to be a little bit, I guess you could say better technique wise, but he also has a shot to be, just as popular, if not more popular.
Hey, I mean, he's got a mouth on him as well, but he's backing it up.
He's backing it up, and I tell you what, he looks good fighting.
He's taking out the trash.
He's taking out the trash, and I tell you what, that fight, old Buddy had him up against the cage trying to do him like old Buddy did Alex Poirier. You heard the crowd kind of starting to boo because they didn't like how your mans was pinning him up against the cage, and then Paddy couldn't do nothing. But then all of a sudden, you could hear the guy talking in his ear, and on cue, bro, Paddy just stepped that leg around and hip tossed him and slammed that ass on the ground. Technique. That's what I love to see.
Bro. And he's in the same division as your boy, Sean O'Malley.
The Sugar Show?
The Sugar Show.
Now, Dana might put that fight off for a while. You got to wait for that fight to come to fruition. You can't just throw that on next, I'm not sure. I'm not saying one of them has to have a belt, but you got to let this train roll a little bit longer. Because Paddy,
he needs a couple more fights.
That was his backyard out there in London. I mean, he could have easily very well been the main event as far as the draw and everything. He's selling just as many tickets if you make him the main event. That's a fact, Jack.
Well, I mean, Paddy's already quoted saying, look, the O2 Arena ain't shit. I could sell that out by myself.
Right. So,
but no, Paddy the Baddy, hey, he's a prospect to look out for.
Yeah, and actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say that he's graduated prospect status and he's a true contender. Cause that's it. He's, to me, from what I've seen, the only ones that I feel that's gonna give Paddy some problems is the champ in that division. So I'm with the whole Paddy the Baddy thing. He's nice with it.
And then the co-main event, Arnold Allen. Man, tore Dan Hooker up.
Dan Hooker's like twice our age though, ain't he?
Hey, but I mean, we kind of been talking about it for like the last, 15 minutes?
Right.
Taking out the trash.
Touche.
So,
Touche.
You know, he took out the trash.
That's what you got to do. And, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Trash comes in all shapes, sizes, colors, weights, dimensions, heights.
I wouldn't say
age.
Look, I know Dan Hooker, he's not on... He ain't doing too good right now, but I wouldn't say he's like utter trash. Like, no. He ain't a trash can, but it was a great win for Arnold Allen.
I think at one point he was considered much better.
Right.
And it's just, like I said, age is taking its course, couple L's, and I think that's even been one of the arguments too for like when we talked about like Khan and stuff. Like, it was just an example at the time about, do we actually feel like more fights would hurt his legacy knowing how good he was? It kind of does. The more fights you're going to keep losing on the back end of your career just ain't good. People will forget about how great you were and only remember your last couple ass whoopings.
Yeah.
So, co-main then led into the main event, which,
you know, another good prospect. Then again, one could argue, just like Paddy, Tom Aspinall, I mean, he's one of the contenders. So with that being said, who would you like to see Aspinall fight next? Because he called out Ty, the Shoey.
Everybody wants a Shoey right now. The Shoey's popular.
The Shoey is popping right now.
Yeah.
But as much as I would love to see that fight against Ty,
go ahead, I say it, because I'm going to say it right now.
I want to see him fight Ciryl Gane.
Already. That's exactly who I was going to say. Because my man's who he just beat, Volk, he took that L against Ciryl Gane.
That he did.
So now that he's went ahead and beat Volk, then now it makes you think, hey, let's see where he stands with Ciryl Gane. We'll see where he stands. That'll give us a good indication. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say this. Ciryl Gane's the gatekeeper now?
No.
Not yet.
Because, like, look, when you go back to the fight against Francis, up to that fight, he had never been taken down before. And he got taken down like 3 times against Francis. All right, Francis, that's a whole nother animal right there in itself. You got to give Ciryl Gane the chance to bounce back. You know, did he improve his ground game? You know, did he improve where he can fight off his back? Because he couldn't do that at all against Francis. You know, if he's, you know, going to lose the next 3 out of his next 4, then, hey, he's a gatekeeper.
Okay.
But you got to give him the chance to bounce back.
Okay. I could tell that one kind of, you know, that was an in-depth perception right there. So I could tell when I said that, you was like, hold on. Nah. I'd be damned if he's a gatekeeper just yet. But no, I agree with everything you said on that. You know, I was just messing with you on that. But essentially, we're using it in the same manner. We don't believe he's a gatekeeper just yet because I'm assuming you would believe Gane would beat, what's his face?
Francis?
No.
Oh, Aspinall?
Aspinall, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. I still like Gane, and I think if he fought Aspinall, I'm taking Gane in that fight.
Okay, so that's why we're not ready to give him his gatekeeper card just yet. But say, for instance, he would. We're using it in that same manner. We kind of want to see where Aspinall stands. If he can't beat Gane, then we know he's really probably not ready for. We got to bump him back down a little bit. Maybe Stipe, if he still wants to fight. Shoey's up next for another big fight. I don't know how many more fights Derek Lewis got in him. You know, handful of.
Now, Derek Lewis, that's a gatekeeper.
Yeah, he's certified gatekeeper now for sure. So, but UFC, again, putting on another great fight night. It was so great electricity-wise, I'm willing to bet that there will be a pay-per-view in London soon.
Oh, definitely.
I really do believe that.
Dana White loves it up there.
Yeah, and then I can only wonder why. Packed stadium, a lot of energy, everybody there till the last drop, basically until they got to kick everybody out the stadium.
I'm dead ass surprised they didn't sing Sweet Carolina.
Hey, that would have been ill too. You know what? On some real shit, that would have been nice. That'd have been cool.
Because it seems like they do that at every DAZN fight.
Well, they definitely, you know, it's a boxing tradition over there, you know, UK and stuff like that. But at the same time, hey, go ahead and make it a crossover. Go ahead and make it a combat sports thing. Anytime you about to see somebody get their ass whipped, let's go ahead and break out the Sweet Carolina.
That would have been crazy, though.
Yeah, I believe that would have been a little sweet touch to add to it being in London. I believe that 110%. So, anything else to add to them? Because that was a jam-packed. I mean, we've said it before. Let's not get too much into it. But April is fitting to be fucking lit.
Plans have been canceled.
Plans are being canceled.
Oh, no. Wait. Hold up. No. So, next week, your boy got floor seats to UFC.
Okay, my man. That's what I'm talking about. Get
So
in the
you know
business.
I'm about to be repping Combat Conversations live
Already, that you know we gonna
at
be
the
on.
UFC.
We gonna be on point with it. We gonna tune in live. We gonna come with some broadcast coverage. You know what I'm saying? I got my finger on my ear right now, like I'm a news reporter. That's gonna be good though. Glad for you. Hope you have a good time. But
AG, we are live here in Ohio.
that's what we doing. Fight Night Combat Conversations. Did you see that shit? Drake, did you see that? That was a right left. Hey, we coming with it. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it. So, April, again, finna be stacked. We gonna be here with the hotness. So, once again, I've been your boy AG, aka the Combat Connoisseur. Join with my man DB. We on all the podcast podcast shows. I apologize.
Like,
Apple,
follow,
Spotify.
subscribe.
Like, follow, subscribe. So, once again, lastly, I've been your boy AG with my man DB.
Hey, pieces.
Peace and love, baby. Holla.